Welcome to this video. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about topics in the world of finance and technology, Bitcoin. Whether you're just hearing about it for the first time or you've been following Bitcoin's rise for years, this video is for you. We're going to break down everything you need to know about Bitcoin, how it started, why people are so obsessed with it, and most importantly, what the future of Bitcoin might look like. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's get started. All right, let's start from the top. What exactly is Bitcoin? In simple terms, Bitcoin is a digital currency, but it's so much more than that. It's decentralized, meaning it doesn't rely on a bank or government to verify transactions. Instead, Bitcoin uses something called blockchain technology, which acts like a massive public ledger that records every single transaction ever made with Bitcoin. Think of it like a giant digital receipt book that anyone can see but no one can change. Bitcoin was created in 2009 by someone or group under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Until this day, we don't know who Satoshi is, but whoever they are, they had a radical idea to create money that wasn't controlled by banks, governments, or corporations. Sounds revolutionary, right? Well, it was. To understand why Bitcoin was created, you have to go back to 2008, during the height of the global financial crisis. Banks were failing, governments were bailing them out, and trust in the traditional financial system was at an all-time low. People were looking for alternatives, and Bitcoin was Nakamoto's solution. In late 2008, Nakamoto released a paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This paper introduced the idea of a currency that was purely digital and didn't require a third party to process transactions. Instead, the community itself would verify and secure transactions using cryptography and computing power. This is called mining, and with that, Bitcoin was born. Let's break down the magic behind how Bitcoin works. Imagine you want to send some Bitcoin to a friend. First, you need their Bitcoin wallet address, which is like their bank account number. You create a transaction by entering how much Bitcoin you want to send and clicking send. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Rather than a bank verifying your transaction, it's verified by a network of people called Bitcoin miners. These miners are actually computers solving complex mathematical problems. The first one to solve it gets to add your transaction, along with others, to a block on the blockchain. As a reward for doing this work, the miner earns some Bitcoin, but not for long. That reward gets cut in half every 4 years in an event called the halving, so mining Bitcoin gets harder over time. Now, why do people love Bitcoin? There are a few key reasons. First, it's been an insane investment for early adopters. Back in 2010, someone bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. Fast forward to today, and those 10,000 Bitcoins would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Imagine spending millions on pizza. That's a story for the history books. But beyond the potential profits, Bitcoin represents something bigger: financial freedom. You don't need a bank, you don't need permission to send or receive money, and Bitcoin can't be inflated by any central bank. For people in countries with unstable economies, Bitcoin has become a lifeline, a way to store their wealth when their local currencies are losing value due to hyperinflation. Of course, not everything about Bitcoin is sunshine and rainbows. One of the reasons it became famous early on was because of its use in the dark web for illegal activities. Since Bitcoin is pseudonymous, meaning while transactions are public, the identities behind them aren't, it became the go-to currency for criminals looking to remain under the radar. Even today, law enforcement is still working on ways to track down Bitcoin used in illegal activity. One of the sites that were used was Silk Road. Another dark side Bitcoin's environmental impact. The mining process uses enormous amounts of electricity, and some critics argue that this makes Bitcoin unsustainable in the long term. Some companies are trying to switch to renewable energy sources for mining, but it's a concern that's not going away. Alright, so where's Bitcoin headed in the next 10, 20 or even 50 years? Well, some believe Bitcoin could become the global currency of the internet, or even the world. Countries like El Salvador have already adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, meaning you can use it to pay for anything from groceries to taxes. Technological advancements like the Lightning Network are making it faster and cheaper to use Bitcoin for everyday payments. Plus, more institutions are jumping on board. Companies like Tesla and PayPal have dabbled in Bitcoin, and many financial firms are starting to treat it like digital gold, a store of value in turbulent times. Here's a fun fact: Bitcoin was once sent to space. In 2016, a company called Blockstream beamed a Bitcoin transaction via satellite. Yeah, Bitcoin is literally out of this world. So, where does that leave you if you're considering investing in Bitcoin? It's important to remember that Bitcoin is incredibly volatile, and that's both a risk and an opportunity. Yes, it can shoot up in value as we've seen it do in the past, but it can also drop just as fast. Just recently, we've seen Bitcoin surge over 5% in a single day, thanks to a combination of short liquidations, accumulation by big investors, and anticipation of the next halving cycle. For long-term investors, the key might be patience. The cycles of bull runs often follow the halving events, which happen roughly every 4 years. Bitcoin's fixed supply, with only 21 million Bitcoins ever to be mined, creates scarcity, which is part of why it's often referred to as digital gold. That being said, Bitcoin isn't just an asset you can set and forget. You need to understand the risks involved, whether that's regulation, competition from other cryptocurrencies, or even new technologies that could one day outperform Bitcoin. Plus, with recent developments like Bitcoin ETFs and growing institutional interest, more people are treating Bitcoin like a long-term store of value, much like traditional commodities like gold. However, as with any investment, it's important to diversify your portfolio and not put all your eggs in one basket. All right, let's look ahead. What does the future hold for Bitcoin? There are a few different paths it could take. Some believe Bitcoin will become the foundation of a new global financial system, allowing for borderless, decentralized payments that any individual can participate in, regardless of where they live or what government they're under. In fact, we're already seeing countries like El Salvador and Bhutan making Bitcoin a key part of their economic strategy. But on the flip side, Bitcoin faces serious competition. Other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano offer different features, from faster transaction speeds to smart contracts. Bitcoin is still number one in market cap, but it may have to evolve to maintain its dominance. Then there's regulation. Governments around the world are beginning to roll out frameworks for how to regulate Bitcoin and the entire crypto space. While some countries are embracing it, others might seek to heavily regulate or even ban it. This will have a major impact on Bitcoin's future, especially as it becomes a more mainstream asset. Before we wrap up, here are some lesser-known facts about Bitcoin that you might not have heard of. Did you know there are over 39,000 Bitcoin ATMs worldwide where you can buy or sell Bitcoin for cash? The US has the largest number of these ATMs, but they're quickly spreading across Europe and South America. Around 20% of all Bitcoin is believed to be lost forever, either locked in forgotten wallets or on hard drives thrown away by accident. That means nearly 4 million Bitcoins might never be accessed again. The mysterious creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, is believed to own around 1 million Bitcoins. But those coins haven't moved since the early days. Some speculate that Nakamoto may have passed away, or simply wants to remain forever anonymous. If Satoshi decided to sell, it could crash the market. So there you have it, the full story of Bitcoin, where it came from, where it's at now, and where it could be headed. Whether you're a long-time hodler or just getting into the space, Bitcoin represents a monumental shift in the way we think about money. It's a tool of financial freedom, but it's not without its risks. If you're thinking about investing, make sure to do your research and stay informed. After all, we're still in the early days of this digital revolution. What do you think the future holds for Bitcoin? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.